We need to build a wall, and it has to be built quickly.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? It's Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by our friends at Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. We got a big show for you today. Very excited. Mason Fleming is producing. We got Joan Jones in the newsroom for half the show. Ken Weaver will be joining us later on in the broadcast as well. And we got a bunch of stuff to go through. First up is going to be this Donald Trump first squawk interview on CNBC. I was a little bit surprised as I'm riding in, and I hear Joan saying they're being awfully disrespectful to 4547, because every time I hear CNBC, it seems like they're always sticking up for Donald Trump and his economic plans and his economic strategy. It seems like CNBC is always willing to say that Donald Trump's policies are working, yet it did seem like this was a bit of a hostile interview. And I don't know about you. It shocked me. It did. I was stunned, if you will, because I thought it was going to be friendly. I thought it was going to be friendly. I got a text here real quick. 1586 said, "Where's that RFK Jr. clip on the WNBA?" I'm scouring the internet, but I can't find it. Go to my Twitter account at Chris Hand on Air. Hit the follow button while you're there too, and you can find the. Did you hear that on the way in, Mason? The AI RFK talking about the WNBA. I got squirreled. Full Matt Murphy here. I just went full Matt Murphy.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There's an AI RFK he's very upset about the phallic objects flopping their way onto a WNBA court. At Chris Hand on Air if you want to check it out. All right, so Donald Trump and first squawk. CNBC opens its interview with DJT by going after him about the BLS numbers lady and talking about those statistics and why they fired that individual. So this is how... Oh, hang on one second. Sorry, I got way too much audio running in the background. This is how the audio starts, the interview with Donald Trump and First Squawk on CNBC.
This is the response rate over the last 10, 12 years for the BLS household survey. It's dropped from 90% or so on time down to 60 and sometimes even lower. It's arguably the most important number we get about the economy. Yesterday, we had Wharton Professor Jeremy Siegel on. Just bear with me, Mr. President, and listen to this. I know you're familiar with Wharton, but unsolicited, this is what Jeremy Siegel said yesterday about the numbers.
I'm not going to let the BLS off the hook. I mean, you talk about how to fix it. Make these questionnaires mandatory and give them a time limit to fill it out. I think the response rate's down to 60%. I mean, that's unacceptable for the most important statistic that we have. It's almost like we're sending them out, fill it out when you can. We know you like to go to the beach in the summer, so it might be a little bit late. This is just not acceptable today. We need that response rate has to go up. And when you make the biggest mistake in 50 years, why? Why wasn't there an explanation?
He's right. I mean, when you see the numbers revised down from Joe Biden, 818,000, you find yourself asking why, and you come to a conclusion of, well, it was political in nature. What did Donald Trump think about it?
It's 258,000 less in 2 months. That was the biggest revision since 1968. Mr. President. So we're in the internet age. We still can't get any instant data. We're still using snail mail to get the responses back. It is the government, after all. Antiquated, no doubt, and certainly suboptimal.
Yeah, it's not optimal at all. And I think you can look through the entire federal government and be like, yeah, this isn't exactly where it needs to be. And we've seen that since Trump got into office in multiple different areas, whether it be the job numbers or whether it be things like air traffic control. POTUS on the BLS under the former Biden appointee commissioner. This is what he thinks about those numbers and the revisions. This is Donald Trump.
But it's also very political. And, I had an election recently where I did very well, won every swing state, won the popular vote, won everything, all right, won all the counties. It's, I think, 87% of the counties were Republican up. That's never happened before. And yet I had to go through hell. And just days before the election, they put out numbers that it was like the country was on fire. It was doing so well. And then they did a revision about 2 weeks later, and the revision was down by almost 900,000 jobs. You remember that? And I said, I said, what would have happened? What would have happened if I lost? Think of it. I would have said they gave phony numbers, and then they revised them a week and a half later.
Those were benchmark numbers, though, Mr. President. That happens. They do that. They do that twice a year. And it reconciles the monthly figures with, like, the overall numbers. And it was a big number. And obviously,
but the numbers were rigged. The numbers were rigged.
I mean, you can already start to hear a bit of hostility and pushback. And while Joe says, well, those are benchmark numbers, it's like, yeah, but your understanding of these numbers is different than the general public's understanding of these numbers. So when Donald Trump says they were rigged to give the appearance of a healthier economy, a more robust economy, he's 100% right. While Joe understands the numbers really intimately, and he swims, he lives, he breathes in that space, the American people don't necessarily do that. So when Trump says the numbers were rigged, I agree with him.
Biden wasn't doing well. He was doing poorly. They announced these phenomenal numbers 2 days before the election. And a little bit before that, always these great numbers, and you knew it wasn't doing well. You knew prices were through the roof and inflation was terrible. The whole thing was bad. But think of it. Then they did the biggest revision, I think, in history of almost 900,000 jobs. And it turned out to be more than that because later on they did another revision. And so they gave phony numbers in order to win the election. After I won the election, I said too big to rig. But after I won the election, then they announced a downward number, in other words, to bring them back to reality. And I said, wow, supposing I would have lost, I would have blamed that, and people would have said I was a conspiracy theorist.
He's right. He's right. The left will say it was a happy little accident. It was just a coincidence, right? It was just a coincidence. But we've seen this movie before. We've seen this movie before. If you recall correctly, in the 2020 election, and listen, I'm not a vaccine guy. I'll be perfectly honest with you. I didn't take that experimental gene therapy. I would rather be digging ditches than do that. But we saw that happen in the 2020 election where, it was just a happy coincidence that about 2 weeks after the election, the vaccine came out. Remember that? Yeah. It always seems to happen like that with Donald Trump. Isn't that interesting? That's so weird. None of these coincidences or these accidents ever really go against the Democrats. Have you noticed that too? It's such a weird thing. Just seems like all these interesting coincidences they always go against the Republicans. They always do. But with the numbers that we're seeing, the GDP growth and the like, the push has been to cut interest rates. And while you're on CNBC, Jerome Powell comes up. Donald Trump, not exactly pleased with him.
I wanted it a year ago. I wanted it a long time ago. Jay Powell is highly political, and I think, I call him too late. Jerome, too late. Powell, he's too late. He's too late always. He always has been, except when it came to lowering interest rates before the election, that he did.
Weird, right?
I wanted it.
It's, again, he's politically motivated. You can make the argument that Jerome Powell is a deep state asset. You absolutely could make that argument. So Donald Trump doesn't want him there. Who are you going to replace him with? I think that's a big question. And they've talked like they have a short list and that they might be releasing some names. I think Scott Bessent said that they'd be releasing names before the end of the year as to who's on their short list, which will put a little bit more pressure on Powell. But CNBC said, what about Scott Bessent, which is an interesting name to bring up, because I don't know if the polling still stands, but at one point he was the most popular man in the administration. One Scott Bessent was. And I don't know if you've listened to Scott Bessent as much as I've listened to Scott Bessent, but he seems smart. He seems like he knows what he's doing, and he seems like a really strong ally of the president. So would you put Scott Bessent as the Federal Reserve chair? Is that something that Donald Trump would do?
I love Scott, but he wants to stay where he is. I'll take him off because I asked him just last night, is this something you want? Nope, I want to stay where I am. He actually said, I want to work with you. It's such an honor. I said, that's very nice. I appreciate that. But, no, Scott wants to do what he's doing. He's doing a great job, and he wants to do what he's doing. So I'd just take him off. He does not want it. He likes being Treasury Secretary. He's doing a really good job. We made the greatest trade deals in the history of our country. We had to because we were being ripped off by the world. It's not like we had a choice. If we would have gotten these trade deals, if you would have had a normal president that would have just continued to allow every country in the world to rip you off, we would not have a country anymore. Your show would be off the air. There'd be nothing to look at. It would be a disaster. We were in such bad shape when I took over.
He's not wrong. He's not. I mean, could you imagine what this economy would look like if Kamala Harris was president right now? Do you think Kamala Harris would go on vacation and bring home $1 trillion worth of investments? I don't think so. I think she'd bring home a headache and a need for aspirin. Well, she would do that during a workday anyway, but I digress. This economy would look nothing like it does right now, and we're not even at full strength. I've talked about this ad nauseum. The investments are coming. The factories are going to be built. We haven't seen the fruit from that tree yet. Seeds are planted, man, and I do believe that this economy is going to take off in about 6 to 8 months when you start seeing the big, beautiful bill come into action, when you start seeing the results from the reshoring of our manufacturing base, when you start to see the impact of opening trade markets in the EU, Japan, Korea. The little Korean guy driving a Ford F-150 never could have happened without Donald J. Trump, and it wouldn't have happened if Kamala Harris was president. Kamala, it wouldn't have happened. It just wouldn't have. Another thing that wouldn't have happened is the 1.7 million drop-off of foreign-born workers from March to July. Yeah, I don't know if you've been paying attention, but this happened, and it happened under one Donald J. Trump. This is a huge accomplishment. While the job numbers last week were kind of like, meh, not crazy, nothing that we're going to like overly celebrate, nothing to panic about. The big number that nobody's paying attention to is that those 73,000 jobs went to Americans because we've seen a fall off in foreign-born workers from March to July to the tune of 1.7 million.
But if you look at the jobs report last week, it did show a 1.7 million drop off of foreign-born workers from March to July.
And that's a great number, by the way. That's a great number because it means we're putting Americans to work.
Amen. America first. That's what we campaigned on. That's what we're aiming for. And Donald Trump is showing it in these numbers that he's putting his money where his mouth is. He's putting these ideas into action. That's all we can ask for. I mean, that's what we elected him for, right? Let's go. 1.7 million drop-off foreign-born workers March to July. Trump says, that's a great number, by the way. Yeah, it is. It's a very good number. Now, Donald Trump had a lot more to say. He talked about the most favored nation drug pricing. He had some things to say about India, some things to say about China. Maybe you've heard of them. Have you heard of them? China? Mason?
China?
That's the one. You're right. They also talked about the redistricting that's going on. There's a big fight right now. What's happening with Texas? Jasmine Crockett's been all over it. She's an unhinged lunatic. Have you noticed that? I think you've noticed that. I've noticed it too. She found every TV camera that she could yesterday to celebrate those Texas Democrats fleeing Texas to go to one of the most gerrymandered states in the union, Illinois, and one of the second most gerrymandered state in the union, New York City, and they're fleeing to avoid the redistricting vote. There's a lot going on that front that we'll get to as well. Plus, a grand jury investigation is now open. Man, we got so much to cover. So little time. You can listen to the show anywhere. iHeartRadio, tune in, the FM dial. You can watch us We're live on Super Talk TV. That's on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Rumble. Why would you want to watch this radio show on TV? We'll have video for all the audio elements that you hear on your radio. It's just a little added bonus. Hit like, hit subscribe, share the show with your friends. And when we get back, more from this Donald Trump interview with First Squawk that just took place this morning. It's 9:20. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Up ahead, it appears the quadruple murder suspect in West Tennessee has been captured and arrested. We've got some details coming up for you here at 9:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I saw that come through the wire. Joan Jones with the latest coming up at about 9:30. It's Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? I'm Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. Donald Trump this morning on CNBC. A couple of things that he said were pretty obvious. Pretty obvious if you've been paying attention. Like this one. Year ago, just 1 year ago, our country was dead in the water. And he's not lying. Oh, you want to give me some audio?
Our country was dead. Now we have the hottest country anywhere in the world by far. And that was told to me by every leader of NATO, which they do whatever I want. That was told to me by the King of Saudi Arabia, by the leaders of UAE, by the leader of Qatar, by many, many. We were a dead country 1 year ago. Today we're the hottest country anywhere in the world, and I'm very happy to help.
Yeah, he's been a big help. He's been a big help. And he's still pushing forward for the American people. One of the things that he's doing is most favored nation drug pricing. He addressed that on CNBC. Maybe you've heard of it. Bringing down drug prices for Americans all over the place. It's crazy how much we pay for drugs, and Donald Trump wants to put an end to that.
As you know, for 30 years, Europe has had drug prices that are, in many cases, 1/10 the cost of drugs in here. Same manufacturing plants, same everything. 1/10. I've invoked favored nations. Now, there is no favored nations clause. I've just said there is, okay, because we're not going to pay 10 times more per pill than they pay in Europe. Then that's going to have a tremendous impact on the price of medicine.
It's going to be awesome, especially for our seniors. I hated how the CNBC host kept trying to interrupt him. It's like, dude, the president's talking. Chill. It did seem a little bit more hostile than it needed to be. He said within the next week or so, they're also going to be announcing tariffs on pharmaceutical companies, which I'm a huge fan of. One of the issues that we saw during COVID was the fact that most of our medicine is made in, I don't know if you've heard of it, China. Have you heard of it?
China.
That's the one. And if you don't want to make your medicine here, well, you're going to have to pay for it.
Look, I did something with Switzerland the other day. I spoke to their prime minister. The woman was nice, but she didn't want to listen. And they paid essentially no tariffs.
Women, am I right? Sorry. I'm just kidding. You guys are great.
And I said, we have a $41 billion deficit with you, madam. I didn't know her. I said, we have a $41 billion deficit, and you want to pay 1% tariffs. You wanted 1%. I said, you're not going to pay 1%. We lose. Because I view deficit as loss. You know, you have some people. By the way, I think
pharmaceuticals are a big issue with Switzerland. I think.
Well, I'll go into pharmaceuticals. Yeah. They make a fortune with pharmaceuticals, and they make our pharmaceuticals in China and Ireland and everything else. And within the next week or so, we're going to be announcing tariffs on specifically. This is a separate class than the 15% tariffs on sort of everything. These are excluded classes, I call them. I like to call them excluded, like steel, aluminum, etc.
Right, the
well,
232.
We're going to be announcing on semiconductors and chips, which is a separate category, because we want them made in the United States. And by the way, they're being made in the United States. You know, we have the biggest in the world, as you know, from Taiwan is coming over and spending $300 billion in Arizona, building the biggest plant in the world for chips and semiconductors. But on pharmaceuticals, we'll be putting a initially small tariff on pharmaceuticals. But in 1 year,
President
1.5 years maximum, it's going to go to 150%, and then it's going to go to 250%, because we want pharmaceuticals made in our country.
It makes sense. I bet you these pharmaceutical companies are biting their nails after hearing that. It's going to start small, and it's going to go to 100%, 150%, 250%. Talk about incentive to reshore your manufacturing here to America. That's what President Trump is doing. He's putting America first. We got more from this interview on the way. Hang out with us. 9:30, Super Talk, 99.7 WTN.
Good morning. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories, and we have breaking news. Moments ago, the mayor of Jackson, Tennessee, announced during a city council meeting The quadruple murder suspect, Austin Drummond, is now in custody. Now, it comes after the Jackson Police Department issued a shelter-in-place order for residents in a neighborhood in that town early this morning, after Drummond was spotted on a homeowner security camera carrying a rifle and trying to break into a house. That was from Sunday night. The details here are still trickling in. We will bring you all the latest throughout the day. President Trump, meantime, has a plan for the 2028 Olympics in Los Angeles, and he's making it official today.
With the signing of an executive order, President Trump will today create a White House Olympics task force. It'll be focused on security for the games and other planning like transportation. It comes at a time when the city of L.A. and the Trump administration have been at odds over several issues, including the recent immigration raids here. The head of LA 28 says a task force is an important step in planning for the biggest and greatest games, quote, the world has ever seen. Alex Stone, ABC News, Los Angeles.
In Texas, Democrat lawmakers who ran away rather than vote on a redistricting plan are subject to arrest now.
I will immediately sign the warrants for the civil arrest of the members who have said they will not be here.
Governor Greg Abbott there calling on Texas Department of Public Safety to arrest what he calls the delinquent Texas House Democrats. That is the latest news. We've got weather up next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here, and let's talk about the Glock store. These days, most new guns are coming optic ready right out of the box. Glock calls it MOS. That's Modular Optic System. But what if your Glock is a little bit older? I mean, it's still working great, but it's before optics were all the rage. Do you have to buy a brand new gun? Well, the answer quickly, no. Lenny McGill and the team at the Glock store, they have you covered. Out of their 16 CNC machines, they got 3 dedicated to just cutting Glock slides. So they fit your red or green dot optic perfectly. And they'll have it done in 10 days or less. If you bring it to the store, it could be even faster than that. Now, here's the best part. Unlike optic-ready Glocks that use adapter plates, Glock store's cuts let your optics sit lower, lock in tighter, and shoot more accurately. They've already done this for over 20,000 slides, and every single one fits perfect. Never tried shooting with an optic? For just $6.99, you can test fire a Glock with a Holosun or Vortex, the 2 most popular brands. That's the Glock store, minutes from the airport, worth the drive from anywhere. 937 Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? It's Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. Hey, if you're watching on the YouTube chat, here's a little public shaming. Here's a picture of Tennessee's most wanted fugitive, Austin Drummond, moments after he's been taken into custody. Tennessee Bureau of Investigation says thank you again to local, state, and federal partners who worked diligently to bring Drummond into custody. All right, to the clink with you. 3 hots and a cot.
Get him out of here.
Get him out of here. Where are we sending him? We're sending him right to jail.
Let's go.
Right to jail.
Right to jail?
Right to jail.
Right to jail.
That's it. That's
right
it.
to jail. Right away.
Yep. All right, we've given this guy too much time.
Yeah, get him off the screen.
Yeah. Austin Drummond. What a loser. All right. That's what we got.
That's it.
That's the end of my prep.
End of the show.
That's the end of the show. Thanks for joining us. It was actually a lot to talk about.
No, so
Oh, my
much.
gosh. Did you see what James Comer just tweeted?
No, I didn't. What's he talking on?
James Comer. James Comer. Maybe you've heard of him. Have you heard of him? House Oversight Committee?
A couple times.
Now, listen, I'm going to take everything James Comer says with a grain of salt because he was the guy, I'm going to take down the Biden crime family. Remember that?
Rings a bell.
Did the Biden crime family get taken down?
I actually believe they're more in the news.
Oh, weird. Anyway, James Comer tweeting this moments ago. You ready for this? You ready? Are you hype? Breaking. The House Oversight Committee is compelling the following individuals to appear for depositions through issued subpoenas. Get ready. A lot of names, a lot of dates. I need you to keep up. Former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, October 9th. Come on down. Former President Bill Clinton, October 14th. Former U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland, October 2nd. Former FBI Director and seashell aficionado James Comey, October 7th. Former U.S. Attorney General William Barr, August 18th. Former U.S. Attorney General Alberto Gonzales, August 26th. Former U.S. Attorney General Jeff Sessions, August 28th. Former FBI Director Robert Mueller, maybe you've heard of him, September 2nd. Former U.S. Attorney General Loretta Lynch, September 9th. And former U.S. Attorney General Eric Holder, September 30th.
Wow.
They're coming in. They're coming in. Depositions on deck. Subpoenas
Let's go.
issued. That's according to one James Comer. This is on the heels of the news of the grand jury investigation that is coming to a city near you. Word on the street is that it could be in Florida. I've heard it might be in Florida. Donald Trump was talking about the grand jury during that interview this morning on CNBC. They asked when he knew about the grand jury investigation that's coming down, and he said, "Well, I found out about it just like you guys did. I had no future notice, none of that. I found out the same time you did."
The Justice Department now tapping a grand jury to look into the intelligence community's assessment of what was happening with Russia. Is that you have nothing to do with directing the Justice Department?
No, I have nothing to do. Pam is doing a great job. I have nothing to do with it. I will tell you this. They deserve it. I was happy to hear it. I actually read it just like you did. I have nothing to do with it. But what they did in the election, what they did in even the last election, but it was too big to rig. But what they did in the 2020 election is grotesque.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it a moment ago. You know, they waited to revise the job numbers this election until after. And they did the same thing with the schmack scene before 2020. They waited until after the election to announce it. Yeah. These guys are dirty. Remember how often they would tell us that the walls are closing in on Donald Trump? Do you remember that? I remember that. Do you feel like the walls might be closing in on the deep state and the Democrats? I'm hopeful. But for years and years, every Democrat that had an opportunity to would say the walls are closing in on Donald Trump.
The walls feel like they are closing in.
As the walls close in around the president.
Donald Trump feels the walls closing in.
I think this is a guy who feels like the walls are closing in.
The walls are closing in on him?
Because the walls are closing in.
The walls are closing in on the president.
Now the walls appear to be closing in.
Really kind of the walls closing in on him.
The walls
we could keep going. Do you get the picture?
Closing in.
I think we get the picture.
The walls were closing in on him.
The walls are closing in on President Trump.
Oh.
Meanwhile, are closing in on the president of the United States.
The
walls closing in on President Donald Trump.
There's a lot of walls.
The walls are closing in on this president.
Feels that the walls are closing in.
I yet Did the walls ever close in on him?
Walls are closing in.
Not to my memory.
I don't recall that happening.
Don't think so.
Closing in on the president.
That guy, that last guy was Bob Menendez, the one who got busted for gold bars. Isn't he in a jail cell right now?
Yeah.
Are the walls closing in, Bob? Sorry, that one's my favorite part. Cat Turd put that together on X.
So good.
So I just play what these guys do because it's awesome. Bob Menendez, the walls are closing in. By the way,
I'm in jail.
I'm in jail. Hopefully we get more Democrats in jail. I do remain hopeful that this DOJ is going to make something happen. They have now launched a grand jury investigation into the Russia collusion hoax. This is in response to a criminal referral from one Tulsi Gabbard, our Director of National Intelligence, over the Russia collusion hoax documents released in late July. Attorney General Pam Bondi has directed her staff to act on that referral, and the DOJ is opening a grand jury investigation into the matter. An unnamed federal prosecutor has been ordered to initiate legal proceedings. Woo, let's go. The prosecutor is expected to present evidence to a grand jury to secure an indictment, per Fox News, which obtained a letter from Bondi and spoke to a source familiar with these matters. This is how they broke the news on Fox yesterday.
News can confirm that Attorney General Pam Bondi today signed an order directing an unnamed U.S. federal prosecutor to take evidence to a grand jury relating to an alleged conspiracy to tie then 2016 candidate Donald Trump to the country of Russia.
Is it alleged at this point? I mean, just asking for a friend. With all the evidence we've seen, is it really an alleged conspiracy? I mean, I know they got to do it. They got to CYA for the legal reasons, but would you consider this an alleged conspiracy at this point? I wouldn't.
No. Fox News reviewed the one-page order just hours ago signed by the Attorney General. A source familiar with the probe confirms this as well, while a DOJ spokesperson declined to comment on this report of an investigation. Fox is told Attorney General Bondi is taking the referrals from Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard, quote, very seriously. The spokesperson says that Bondi believes there is, quote, clear cause for deep concern, end quote, and a need for the next steps. Now, this move comes just a couple of weeks after the Director of National Intelligence, you see her right there, Tulsi Gabbard, sent a criminal referral to the Justice Department regarding what she says proves there was a conspiracy to undermine Trump's candidacy and later his first term in office. Now, to be clear today, there are no charges that have been filed, no indictments. This is incredibly early in the process. What we have here is taking evidence the Justice Department believes it has to a grand jury to secure an eventual indictment or indictments. We don't.
What evidence do they have? Well, Post Millennial has this. The documents released revealed overwhelming evidence that Obama and his administration manufactured and politicized intelligence in an attempt to hurt Trump's chances in the 2016 election. We've seen it. We've read it. We understand. Gabbard said the documents detail a treasonous conspiracy by officials at the highest levels of the Obama White House to subvert the will of the American people and try to usurp the president from fulfilling his mandate. In the documents that they've dropped, it was revealed that Hillary Clinton approved a plan from a campaign advisor to smear then presidential candidate Donald Trump through raising the theme of Putin's support for Trump and subsequently steering public opinion toward the notion that it needs to equate the influence campaign from Putin with interference in the election. And the FBI under Obama's administration appeared to have dismissed the information and did not take investigative steps. This is a breaking story, and it is wild. A lot of conversation happening about this. What do you think? At this point, with a grand jury, are you feeling more hopeful that we're going to see some accountability? I do. I do. And I'm going to remain hopeful until that flame is stamped out, because I think that this is different now. I think things have changed, and I think that Donald Trump and his administration are ready to go. Now, with this investigation launched, where's it going to happen? Well, John Solomon said that, and John Solomon's been ahead of the curve on a lot of this reporting, for the record. John Solomon is now reporting that they're going to try to get this grand jury investigation done in Florida. Now, that makes me a lot more hopeful, too, because we all know Washington, D.C., and its inhabitants. We all know Florida and its inhabitants. A little different. Just a little different. This is John Solomon talking about the grand jury and whether or not it will take place in the Sunshine State.
This is a major development. We told you last week that Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, had
given permission for a strike force to begin. That's a very specific tool the Justice Department uses on major conspiracies. And we told you then we would know it was getting serious when the grand jury jumped into action. We now know that a grand jury will be impaneled. Most likely, my sources are telling me, it could be in Florida.
Let's go, baby. Let's go. Let's do it in Florida. I'm here for it. And I think this is going to change the equation on how that grand jury pans out, personally. We'll see. We'll see. John Solomon continues.
Where the raid of President Trump's Mar-a-Lago home helped. And so that is the very latest. You can check it out at Just News. We're going to have a whole lot more on that over the course of the next years.
Yeah, and a lot of people had a lot more to say. Jonathan Turley on the Russiagate grand jury saying this is the first and necessary step to accountability. We've never seen anything like this before. This is Jonathan Turley yesterday with Will Cain on Fox News.
This is the first necessary step to finding out about the real Russian conspiracy. There never was a Russian collusion conspiracy. That was hatched by the Clinton campaign. They secretly funded the Steele dossier. They denied that to the media. And they laid out this very successful political hit job using the media, using the government. It's amazing how much the public still doesn't know. But in the last few weeks, this administration has given us information that we haven't seen before. I've been following this, writing about it for years. Some of this is new stuff, and it's startling. This is the first.
Some of this is new stuff, and it's startling. I can't wait to see how this pans out. I really am hopeful. I really do believe things are going to be different this time, and I really will be disappointed if I'm wrong. And I'll be happy to admit it to you if I am wrong. But I'm going to keep my fingers crossed. I'm going to keep praying for justice and accountability. The mainstream media running away from this story just as quickly as humanly possible. NBC News, I mean, now they're forced to cover it, right? Because we have the grand jury. NBC News, they covered it yesterday. But listen to how they explain it, okay?
When really
This is NBC News breaking the grand jury investigation into former President Obama.
A couple of weeks ago, Hallie, when really the headlines were dominated by the Jeffrey Epstein controversy, and then the president was sort of trying to change the topic very obviously, and in many different venues, was trying to bring up these unsubstantiated claims about the role he argues former President Obama had in the 2016 election and trying to suppress some information that he says would have been damaging if it had come to light. And so then you had the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, come to the White House briefing room, come to the podium and try to share some of this alleged new evidence. Well, now you have the Attorney General saying that they're going to try to take that information, which, remember, they had announced a strike force to look into what they call this new evidence and try to evaluate it to see if there could be any potential criminal indictments that they would follow. And the thing that matters here is that this is basically a grand jury investigation that's being launched, but that will happen in secret. This is behind closed doors, and it's completely unclear whether it will yield anything new. It's unclear that we will ever learn anything new about it because it could be under seal, but it really does bear repeating. This is looking into something for which there is no evidence to back it up, and it's really, it seems, a politically motivated move to keep the focus on one of the president's clear political foes and talk about basically anything else.
Oh, yeah, talk about anything else. Anything but Epstein, please. We do have some news on that interview with Ghislaine Maxwell that I'll be breaking for you here in a second. But let's break down that NBC News report, shall we? Western Lensman on X, I don't know if you follow him. He's one of the best. He put it like this. The reporter apprises the viewer that Russiagate is a distraction. All Gabbard's claims are unsubstantiated. Re-emphasizes that there's zero evidence to back up the claims, which is bovine scatology, if I've ever seen bovine scatology. Says it's all politically motivated and that Donald Trump is just using this investigation to hurt his political foes. That's how NBC News covers it. One of the worst. Van Jones and Scott Jennings were talking about this last night. Do you know what Van Jones said? Van Jones said, half the country believes a lot of dumb stuff, but nobody's trying to put anybody in prison over it. Scott Jennings said, do you forget what you guys did to Donald Trump?
Well, half the country believes a lot of dumb stuff, including a lot of dumb stuff that comes from Republicans, but nobody's trying to put anybody in prison over it. Listen, we live in a
They tried to put Donald Trump in jail, Van.
Hold on a second. They tried to put Donald Trump.
Scott Jennings, he got so angry. I think the heat radiating off of him messed up his internet connection because it broke up a little bit. Did you notice that? They tried to put him in jail, Van.
Just trying to share the truth.
And when that didn't work, they tried to remove the back of his head. Yeah, weird. So what's going on with Ghislaine Maxwell? Todd Blanche, that interview that was conducted, the one that NBC News says this Russiagate stuff is a distraction from. I'll tell you about it when we get back. It's 9:52. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friends at the Wellness Institute of Nashville. And if you are tired of living with back pain, neck pain, knee pain, you need to talk to the specialists over at the Wellness Institute of Nashville. They're running a special now called the Big Daddy Trump Special, the BDT. That's what I like to call it. Yeah, you know me. Are you down with the BDT? Just $12. What is it going to get you? Well, it's going to get you a full exam. It's going to get you x-rays if needed, a well-explained diagnosis, and your first treatment for only $12. And then you can get back to a pain-free life. Dr. Mitchell and Dr. Ashley are experts in this field, and they're going to get you back to a pain-free life without surgery, without injections, and without pills. Now, you may say this is too good to be true, and I'll tell you it's not. The Wellness Institute of Nashville has my seal of approval on this deal, and they're going to treat all of your pains with non-surgical spinal decompression, robot lasers, and even anti-gravity machines. So grab your MRI, get ready to finally understand your condition and fix it. 615-246-5009. That's 615-246-5009. The Wellness Institute of Nashville. Online, painisbad.com.
Up ahead on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Well, they got him. The man who is wanted in West Tennessee for a quadruple murder has now been captured. Also, a Gallatin man arrested for selling his dying wife's pain meds. That's all coming up here at 10 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
NBC News, we played a clip earlier in the show. They said that this grand jury investigation, it's a cover-up. It's a distraction from the real story, Jeffrey Epstein. Now, while I do want all the Epstein documents, I disagree that it's a distraction. I think that they've been working on this behind the scenes for a long time. And we got a new piece of news. The Justice Department has an audio recording of an interview it conducted with Jeffrey Epstein associate Ghislaine Maxwell last month. And now the administration is considering releasing a transcript of said interview. I'll bring you the latest on that when we get back. It's 10 o'clock. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Good morning. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories in breaking just this hour. The quadruple murder suspect who had been on the run in West Tennessee is now under arrest.
They announced that 28-year-old Austin Drummond was in custody at about 9:15 this morning.
That's WSMV4's Danielle Ledbetter. He had been captured in Jackson, Tennessee, where he was spotted on several home security cameras since Sunday with a rifle in hand, going house to house, trying to open doors. Now, police had issued a shelter in place this morning and then announced that he had been captured. Drummond will be charged with the murders of 4 people and the kidnapping of a baby that was found on a front lawn 40 miles away. 3 others have been charged with helping Drummond to elude police. The latest in the Texas redistricting fight. Texas House Republicans voting to authorize the sergeant-at-arms to civilly arrest Democrats who fled the state in protest of the GOP redistricting efforts. ABC's Jessica Willey.
In this dramatic fight over redistricting, DPS has been ordered to locate, arrest, and bring back any fleeing lawmakers to the House chamber. Governor Greg Abbott also wants them investigated for possible criminal violations, possibly bribery, he says, suggesting that they are being paid to break quorum.
Meantime, New York Governor Kathy Hochul embracing the gerrymandering of congressional districts in New York to favor Democrats.
This is a war. We are at war. And that's why the gloves are off. And I say, bring it on.
Those comments coming yesterday as she sat alongside 6 Democrat lawmakers from Texas who had fled the state.
Sounds sweet.
She does, and she's cute, too. An inmate who walked away from a work detail in Rutherford County has now been found and taken into custody. Here's news, too, on that story.
The sheriff's office says Joseph Beard was picked up. He's picking up trash along John Bragg Highway in Reedyville when he walked off. Deputies spent the afternoon searching the area with K-9 officers and drones, and then the THP sent in its helicopter. Officers found him just before dark.
Now, Beard was serving time for a probation violation. He was set to be released August 24th. Now, however, he's facing new charges. And in Gallatin, a man was taken into custody after being caught selling prescription pain medication. Police say 64-year-old Timothy Puckett had been stealing his dying wife's medication. She was reportedly nonverbal and living on a hospital bed in the living room of their home. Police had her removed to a hospital setting, and they arrested Puckett for selling the drugs and neglect of an elderly adult and maintaining a drug house. That is the latest news. We've got weather up next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
It's 10:06 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? It's Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by our friends at Better Water LLC. You need a water filtration system. You need water softeners. You're not sure why?
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
That's a reason. BetterWater.com. Sorry, so dumb, but I love it. Hey, before we get into this Epstein news, I want to let's kick it a little local. Is Joan back there?
Yeah, I am.
Tell me that story about that guy that walked away in Readyville.
Oh, yeah.
He had how long did he have left on his sentence?
He was to be released August 24th.
What is his name?
His name is, let's see.
He's got to be the dumbest criminal in history,
Oh,
right?
yeah. Last name Beard.
Beard?
Yeah.
I mean, could you imagine, like, if like that's like your husband or son or cousin or brother, and you're like, can't wait for you to get out, and
he blew it.
He's gonna go away for years now.
Long time. Yeah.
What an idiot.
Yeah, they didn't make him too smart.
No, absolutely not.
I was dumbfounded by that story.
He didn't get, how could he have gotten very far? He was on a work detail and, picking up trash along the roadway, just sort of walked away.
I hope it was worth it, bro. I hope it was worth it. I mean, they got radios in that jail, and some people are probably listening to us. He's going to get clowned.
Oh, my goodness,
He's going to
so
get
much.
clowned heavy. You could get out in 3 weeks, and you snuck off. I hope he did something with his time, like grabbed a Slurpee or like a hot dog from 7-Eleven or something. You know what I mean? Like was he like, dude, I just need some peppered beef jerky. Like that's what I need in my life. Like I hope there's some more to that story, and I hope that we find out. But
Joseph Beard, yeah, he was picking up trash on John Bragg Highway when he left the detail. Then they set up some helicopters, some drones.
Idiot.
Pretty easy to spot him.
They say where they found him.
Not far away.
So didn't even make it home. Didn't make it to his local
Right.
McDonald's for a McDouble or something.
Yeah, oh man, he couldn't wait. He heard snack wraps were back on the menu, and he had to go grab one.
I gotta get out. I can't wait less than 3 weeks.
I've been waiting so many years. I can't wait another 3 weeks.
Hate to burst his bubble. It's subpar.
Is it really?
It's not good.
Is it different than the last?
It's
snack wrap?
different. They're using different ingredients. It's not the same.
That's disappointing. Do you know what I liked?
A little bummer.
You know what I liked that I might be like weird?
What'd you like?
The Big Mac wrap. Remember that?
No, I don't.
They did it like a Big Mac
Interesting.
in the wrap, and it was awesome.
Like they wrapped a hamburger in a...
Oh, yeah, it was so good,
In a
John.
tortilla?
Huh.
It was so good. So good. That and the steak, egg, and cheese on a bagel. My favorites. So good. So good.
Now we're hungry. Thanks.
And you know what?
Starving.
Anybody that's listening to this, let Joseph Beard know he's got to wait a couple more years.
Prison food for a little while longer, buddy.
3 hots in a cot, brother. 3 hots in a cot. All right, so you couldn't wait 3 weeks, you knucklehead. Anyway, Ghislaine Maxwell, she did that interview with Todd Blanche. This is one of the things that people are like, oh, this is a distraction. Russiagate's a distraction from the Epstein stuff. Donald Trump's covering it up. And one of the things that I said constantly was, why would he send his deputy AG down there if they were trying to cover it up? Well, now we're learning, per CNN, you got to take it with a grain of salt, but they got some sources, senior officials from the Trump administration, to confirm that they are debating releasing the transcript of the Ghislaine Maxwell interview with the DOJ. Story goes like this, and this is just breaking, so I'm going to react to it in real time with you. The Justice Department has an audio recording of the interview it conducted with Ghislaine Maxwell last month, and the administration is considering releasing a transcript of the interview publicly, 3 senior administration officials told CNN. The existence of the recording has not been previously reported and comes at a time when the Trump administration is facing pressure to be more transparent with the information it has related to Epstein. Administration officials are currently discussing whether to release the transcript of Maxwell's interview with Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche, the 3 senior administration officials told CNN. The administration has been transcribing and digitizing the recording. Portions of the transcript that could reveal sensitive details like victims' names would also have to be redacted, one of the officials said. As of Tuesday morning, the discussions over potential publications of the transcript and the audio were ongoing. A final decision has not been made, one of the officials said. Another official told CNN within the White House, some of the conversation has focused on whether making the details from the interview public would bring Epstein controversy back to the surface at a time when many officials close to the president believe the story has largely died down. However, many of whom have been frustrated with the rollout of the information regarding the Epstein case, have been eager to take control of the narrative and optics around the issue. Two of the Trump administration officials said that if they were to release the audio and transcript, it would likely be done sooner rather than later. One said the release could be several weeks from now, depending on what the most senior level officials within the West Wing and the Justice Department decide. It was not immediately clear whether the White House and the DOJ were aligned on the issue. This is nothing more than CNN desperately trying to create news out of old news. He already addressed the issue in an interview with Newsmax, a real news outlet that routinely gets better ratings than CNN. White House Communications Director Stephen Chung told CNN. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. One thing I do know is that the Trump administration listens to its base. And if this conversation gets loud enough and his supporters get loud enough online, I do think that we'll see this released. I do. And I don't think that Russiagate is a distraction from what's been going on with Epstein. I don't. I think they've been working behind the scenes on that for a very, very long time. Tulsi Gabbard said that she started on that day one. Day one. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. We're also going to see what happens with the Russiagate grand jury. Very, very interesting news, though, and it does seem to be developing at a rapid pace on both counts. So we'll see. We'll keep you posted, and if any updates become available, we'll have them for you right here on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Now, in the meantime, the redistricting battle that's going on in Texas, which is just asinine that the Democrats are running away. They ran away, get this, on a private jet that cost $17,000 an hour to operate. So by fleeing the state of Texas, they're subverting the will of their voters, and they're also costing the taxpayer about $100,000. Nice. Texas Democrats did not return to their home state despite Governor Abbott's warning, and now they could face removal from office if they're not back by 4 o'clock Eastern time today. This is what was reported yesterday.
Democrats will not be returning to their home state, despite Governor Abbott's warning that they could face removal from office if they are not back by 4 o'clock Eastern time today. Instead, they just announced a press conference at 7 p.m. And where are they? In Warrenville, Illinois, is where those Texas representatives will be speaking from, just about an hour outside of Chicago.
Which is hilarious, because Illinois is one of the most gerrymandered states in the entire union. It's a joke. So they didn't make the deadline. And when they didn't make the deadline, guess what happened? Well, they issued warrants for their arrests. The Texas House voted to allow arrest warrants to be issued for the Democrats that fled the state. Good. Abbott on Monday also directed the Texas Rangers to investigate fleeing Texas House Democrats for potential bribery and any other potential legal violations connected to their refusal to appear for quorum, conduct business, and cast votes, Abbott said. That investigation should extend to anyone who aided and abetted such potential crimes. Abbott's pressure follows that walkout by the Democrats, who are seeking to deny the Texas House a quorum, the minimum number of legislators required to conduct business. By leaving the state, Democrats effectively froze all legislative activity during a special session set to expire later this month. And people are not happy. On CNN had a Republican on. They do from time to time. But Brian Harrison, he's a Republican in the Texas State House, and he's like, guys, we have every right to do this redistricting.
The United States Constitution and the Constitution of the great state of Texas absolutely allows us to undergo this type of redistricting effort. So we're doing something that's completely legal, it's completely constitutional, and I am doing everything I can in my power as an elected member of the state of Texas to make sure that the state of Texas does everything in its power to make sure that Republicans hold on to a majority in the United States Congress. It's as simple as that. That's completely legal. It's totally permissible. The United States Supreme Court has said so on multiple occasions. Quite frankly, we should have done this during the regular session and had this in the rearview mirror by now.
Yeah, he's right. Yeah, they should have, but they didn't. And now we have this big news story, which shouldn't be a news story at all. Now, when the Democrats do it, they'll tell you it's because they're fair and they're reasonable. When the Republicans do it, they'll tell you it's because they hate democracy and they're racists and bigots. And we've seen this over and over and over again. Rep. Greg Kasar out of Texas saying, we're in a fight right now and we're standing up. This is a real fight. And we're going to show them what we're made of. And he's acting like a real tough guy on CNN. This is a Democrat out of Texas. Listen to this.
There doesn't seem to be evidence that he actually can go ahead with doing what you have described here. I mean, he certainly can file
lawsuits, but that's very different from what you have laid out.
Well, what I've just laid out is exactly what Governor Abbott has said he's going to do this afternoon. And I, just like you, believe that is deeply unconstitutional and illegal. But we're living in a world where too many courts, like the Supreme Court, are complicit and compliant with Donald Trump and Greg Abbott.
I mean, do you hear this kind of rhetoric? It's completely unconstitutional and illegal, but everybody's compromised but us. Okay, got it.
And so we need to speak out, make our voices heard, and make sure that our court system and that our elected officials try to follow the laws of this land. But what Governor Abbott very clearly laid out in his letter yesterday is that not only is he looking for the arrest of our brave Texas legislators, but that he's also threatening to remove them all from office. And we just cannot let that happen.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if there's anything we know about these Texas Democrats is that they're stunning and brave. And we should all celebrate them for their selflessness in these actions because, you know, they have no political motivations here whatsoever. They're doing this with just a full heart of American pride, and they're doing this with the noblest of intentions. Got it. Well, except they're not. And Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton, he says we're looking for a process where we could remove potentially some of these people for not following the rules that are in front of them, especially when it comes to important issues like redistricting. This is AG Ken Paxton.
Will you do that, sir?
So there's all kinds of things we can do. One, they could have been chained to their desks when they were there already. The speaker could have shut the doors. I was in the House. That actually happened. We had to spend the night there to keep everybody there. At this point, we can arrest them. If the speaker puts out a call to arrest them,
he did.
They can be arrested. Now, one of the problems we have, they go outside of the state. They've all gone to very liberal states, which, by the way, most of those states have lines that are way more gerrymandered than what you would say ours supposedly are.
Yeah, Illinois and New York in particular.
Or we're looking at another process where we can potentially take some of these people out of office for not following through on their constitutional road, their constitutional duties to show up and vote on important issues like redistricting.
We'll see what happens. I don't think they're going to actually remove these Democrats from office, and if they did, I don't know what that looks like, and I'm not exactly a huge fan of that because anything that we do like that, well, if we got one Republican in a blue state, well, guess what's going to happen? You know what I mean? I don't know if it's the right precedent to set. I do know, though, that the Democrats are completely unhinged when it comes to this redistricting issue. Jasmine Crockett is really taking it personal because if the redistricting goes through, she's under the impression that it's going to draw her out of a seat, which, I mean, is a net positive for America. Maybe keeping her around, though, it would help the conservatives because she's such a loudmouth idiot. Listen to her.
This bill is going to continue to move on the Senate side because the Senate side is still in, but the House is not in. And as we know, it's got to pass both chambers before it can get to anybody's desk. So as of right now, there is nothing that they can do as relates to the House. I am so very proud. Please, please, please look up these amazing state representatives.
Stunning and brave.
Show them some love, encourage them, because this is really hard to make the decision that you're going to leave your family behind as you go and hide out, because we got a rogue bootleg criminal attorney general who absolutely is like wanting to be Trump 2.0.
He's like the worst. I don't know if you've seen him. He wears red hats, and it's like, dude, what are you doing? She talks like. Why does she talk like that? Does anybody know? Anybody? We got a rogue attorney general who wants to be a bootleg Trump 2.0 himself. Okay.
Himself, and he wants to put warrants out for people, even though like he's the one that was under federal investigation for years, and he's the one that had felony indictments pending for years, and of course was avoiding prosecution for years. That's
because the Biden DOJ was on the up and up.
What makes you real MAGA is like you got to be about this thug life. You got to be like cheating on your wife. You got to at least be going to get impeached if you ain't been impeached, because he was impeached. He just wasn't convicted again. We've kind of seen this play out before. Anyway, but he got the nerve to talk about who should be arrested. Give me a break. Kind of like, the orange orangutan, the Timu Hitler.
Timu Hitler. She called Trump the orange orangutan, Timu Hitler. Timu Hitler. People voted for this woman. I have no idea why. None whatsoever. Though I do think she's a net positive for conservatives because she is completely unhinged and an absolute lunatic. There's a lot more going on around this Texas redistricting. Fun fact, Chuck Todd stuck up for Texas. It was really weird. And then the Democrats, they're hiding out in New York. They're hiding out in Illinois. Both of those governors finding podiums to talk about it and really grandstand on this entire issue. You're not going to want to miss what they had to say. We'll bring that to you on the way. It's 10:21. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
The manhunt for Austin Drummond is over. Police have captured the quadruple murder suspect and why some people won't be receiving their Social Security checks anymore. That and more coming up here at 10:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Joan Jones. It is 10:26 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? It's Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. We got Jasmine Crockett. She's very proud of those Texas Democrats. They're stunning and brave. I don't know if you knew that. Stunning and brave. And she's putting out these videos where she's gleeful. She's gleeful. She's cheering them on. And she also takes an opportunity to talk a little trash about one 45-47, Mr. DJT.
Again, we've kind of seen this play out before. Anyway, but he got the nerve to talk about who should be arrested. Give me a break. Kind of like, the orange orangutan, the Timu Hitler.
Oh, yeah. If I was Jasmine Crockett, I'd be careful. Can't just be throwing around monkey jokes. It's not fair. Not fair. Also, when it comes to Texas, Donald Trump got the most votes in Texas out of anybody. He's far more popular than Jasmine Crockett. In fact, during that CNBC interview this morning on First Squawk, he said, I got the most votes out of any Republican ever in Texas. And they went, whoa. Slow down there, orange man. We're going to need to fact check that. And they did fact check it. And guess what happened?
Here we go. So you did get the highest number of votes in Texas. So that's true. But when you were talking about...
then you don't have to say anything more, Joe.
I got to say this.
No, don't say anything more. Don't qualify it by saying,
no,
I got the highest number of votes
you did.
in the history
of Texas. I'm moving on to your claim that...
Okay. Oh, don't say anything more, Joe. Don't say anything more. I can't believe they're trying to fact check him on the air. Like he's just... Like what? He's going to go on CNBC and just lie? Is that what they think? Like, do you think he would just throw that out there if he didn't have evidence to back it up? I doubt it.
I mean, media's used to our higher-ups lying to him, so.
That's fair. I got the most votes. whatever you think, I got the most. We'll fact check you, and then, yep. Oh, turns out you were right. Chuck Todd surprisingly went on CNN, and, well, not surprisingly went on CNN, but surprisingly on CNN said that what the Republicans in Texas are trying to do, I mean, it's by the book, and this is not anything that we should be shocked about or up in arms about. This is kind of a bad look for the Democrats.
It seems as if the strategy is bring more attention to this, make everybody uncomfortable, right? The more painful you make the process in Texas, the more it's hard to replicate. Maybe their own colleagues aren't as interested in this. Congressional Republicans that serve in Texas whose districts are actually going to get impacted negatively also secretly are kind of hoping this goes away too. And I think they think the more painful they can make this in doing it, maybe there's a way to shut this down. So I understand the strategy, and I think you get this. The part that I think is sort of bad, I think it's a bad look for a party that claims to be always trying to protect the democracy, is to hole up in a state that gerrymanders.
Yeah, it's not a good look. And they did. They went to Illinois, one of the most gerrymandered states in the entire country, and they hid there. Now, their governor, Pritzker, he went to a podium and he defended them. Stunning and brave. And they also sent some of those Texas Democrats to New York, also a heavily gerrymandered state, where Kathy Hochul said, this is war. And it's just like, dude, chill out. This is a lot of hysteria around this, and it's insane. We'll bring you the comments from Pritzker. I'll bring you the comments from Hochul. Plus, Jasmine Crockett. I got a text. Somebody said, why do you keep playing that loudmouth bleep? Well, because it's actually good for conservatives to hear somebody as completely unhinged as Jasmine Crockett. And she had a lot of things to say, including the quiet part out loud when it came to Texas and what they're doing. I'll bring you that when we return. 10:30, this is Super Talk, 99.7 WTN.
Good morning. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. Jackson, Tennessee police have captured quadruple murder suspect Austin Drummond. Here's Fox News' Steve Harrigan on that.
Austin Drummond, this is a man who's accused of killing 4 people in Tennessee. The case got a tremendous amount of attention because not only is he accused of murdering 4 members of a family, but also abducting, kidnapping, and then leaving a 7-month-old baby girl in a car seat on the lawn of a random house 40 miles away from those bodies.
Now, officers took Drummond into custody after warning residents in 2 areas of Jackson to shelter in place. He had been seen on surveillance video from a local church armed with a rifle and trying to get in the door. The reward for information leading to his capture had surged to nearly $33,000 in the days leading up to the capture. At this hour, convicted killer Byron Black had been scheduled to be put to death. Black has been on death row since his conviction in 1989 for the murders of his girlfriend and her 2 young daughters in Nashville. Governor Bill Lee declined to intervene, and the U.S. Supreme Court denied his appeals. The federal government will soon stop sending out paper checks for payment, and that's part of President Trump's efforts to cut down on costs and fraud. But that includes Social Security checks. They will instead come in the form of a debit card. But if you need a paper check, you can sign a waiver. Call Social Security for information on how to do that. That is the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friends at Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. This is not the time of year you want your HVAC system to go out. And if you find yourself in that position, you really need to call Busy Bee. They're going to make it so easy to replace your HVAC system. Now, for in this month, you can get an HVAC system with 0% financing, 18 months with approved credit, and payments as low as $100 a month on HVAC replacements. Maybe you don't need your HVAC replaced, and that's a good thing. I mean, that can be expensive, but you've noticed some musty smells coming out of your vents. Clean air matters, and if you buy a middle-tier air duct cleaning package, Busy Bee will upgrade you to the deluxe package for free. Busy Bee is going to take care of their customers. They always do. They do it for me. I'm a Beehive Club member. I can swear by the guys at Busy Bee. You got to trust the pros. They're at Busy Bee, where comfort and community comes first. Give them a call today if you got HVAC problems. 615-775-7833. That's 615-775-7833. Online at busybeehvac.com. 1036, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? It's Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. If you want to keep up with me when I'm off the air, you can find me on Twitter, True Social, Instagram, and YouTube. All of them are the same. Oh, and TikTok now. I'm really embarrassed. But I did TikTok.
You got the TikTok?
I did. All of them are the same, at Chris Hand on air. I just needed another platform to put content out on, and I just couldn't do Facebook.
I don't blame you.
Couldn't do Facebook. And where are the youth?
TikTok.
They're on the TikTok.
Yes, sir.
I'll let you know when I get banned. I do I do a lot of stuff that I'm like, that's probably going to get me kicked off. Like the last reel I made was all about organ harvesting. You see that one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably going to get me removed because, China loves organ harvesting.
Oh, big fans.
Huge fans.
Big fans.
Huge fans. You wake up in a bathtub with your kidney missing. Not a good look.
Took my freaking kidney.
It happens. It happens. Many such cases. Really does.
No, yeah, it's kind of wild.
Yeah, like
it's kind of wild.
I mean,
I thought I had 2 of these.
Yeah, you don't anymore. All right, so we're talking about Texas and the redistricting. The governor of gerrymandered Illinois, one J.B. Pritzker, who, let's be perfectly honest, weighs as much as 2 governors. He is praising the Texas Democrats who fled their state because they fled to his state. Again, one of the most gerrymandered in the union. This is J.B. Pritzker yesterday. He found a podium, and he wanted to celebrate the stunning and brave Texas Democrats.
So Trump came up with a new scheme, rig the system.
Just from the jump, this is Trump's scheme. This is Trump. This thing that's been going on since before Donald Trump even announced that he was going to get into politics is a Trump scheme. Maybe the rumors of Trump having a time machine are true. I don't know. Maybe. That's the only thing that makes sense to me. The Adventures of Baron Trump. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't. What?
Oh, you got to do that, man. You got to Google that. Google The Adventures of Baron Trump.
I'm about to go down a rabbit hole.
You are definitely going to go down a rabbit hole. There's an internet theory that Trump has a time machine because of his uncle Fred getting Nikola Tesla's blueprints back in the day.
Oh, interesting.
It's spooky. Yeah, it's like The Adventures of Baron Trump. You got to check it out. Go down a rabbit hole.
All right. We'll talk at the 58.
So J.B. Pritzker apparently subscribes to this QAnon conspiracy theory because he says this redistricting, this gerrymandering is a Trump scheme. It's a Trump scheme. He went, hey, yeah, it's a Trump scheme.
So Trump came up with a new scheme, rig the system, by ramming through a corrupt mid-decade redistricting plan that would steal 5 congressional seats, silencing millions of voices, especially Black and Latino voters.
Oh, it's so weird. It's so weird because I was under the impression because of the data that more Black and Latino voters swung for Donald Trump than ever before. So why on earth would he want to silence Black and Latino voters? He doesn't. These are talking points from an overweight gentleman who's already breaking a sweat mid-podium speech.
Let's be clear, this is not just rigging the system in Texas. It's about rigging the system against the rights of all Americans.
He can't keep getting away with it, yells J.B. Pritzker.
For years to come. Now, Texas Republicans submitted to the president's orders and took steps to advance Trump's Texas takeover. And while Texas Democrats have been trying to work across the aisle to deliver disaster relief after the devastating floods in central Texas, Republicans chose to use the tragedy as political cover to cheat.
It's not cheating. Like, that's the thing. These talking points are crazy. And when we get to Governor Hochul, Kathy Hochul, whatever her name is, loser, she's like, hey, when Democrats do it, it's to be fair. When Republicans do it, it's because they're evil. And J.B. Pritzker, I mean, coming from the state of Illinois, he's essentially saying the exact same thing.
That brings us to today. Texas Democrats were left no choice.
No choice.
But to leave their home state, block a vote from taking place, and protect their constituents.
You know what this needs? We're going to need some sad violin. All right, because he's really upset.
Chose to use the tragedy as political cover to cheat. That brings us to today. Texas Democrats were left no choice but to leave their home state, block a vote from taking place, and protect their constituents. This is a righteous act of courage.
Oh, the sad violent
And we can
hits,
all
doesn't
take
it?
a page from these leaders' playbook.
Too
When you
good.
show people that you have the will to fight, well, they can muster the will to fight too.
Wow.
Courage is contagious.
Oh. That's
So
it.
Trump came up with
That's it. I'm a Democrat. That courage is so stunning and brave. I'm renouncing all MAGA affiliation. It's like
Life
I
changed.
didn't know how courageous they were, but now that I do, I got bit by the bug, and it's spreading, baby. It's spreading like a Chinese virus. So, all right, that's J.B. Prisker.
So dumb.
Thank you. Sad violin really hit.
Oh, it was
It really did.
every time it comes in clutch. It almost goes with their emotions.
It doesn't miss.
Absolute cinema.
Sad violin doesn't miss. All right, so that's the governor of Illinois. Let's hear from the governor of New York, one Kathy Hochul, who says that what the Texas Democrats are doing, it's a legal insurrection. Oh, that's a dirty word. She said that what Texas is doing is a legal insurrection, and it must be stopped. And these brave Democrats, they're stopping it. Then she also says New York needs to do the exact same thing, and she's going to do it because, again, it's evil when Republicans do it. It's fair and just when Democrats do it.
While Donald Trump and his co-conspirator, Greg Abbott.
Oh, my gosh, here we go. His co-conspirator. We call him Hot Wheels. That's what Jasmine Crockett calls him. Do you know that? She said that. She said that. That would be a hell of a comic. Orange Man and Hot Wheels.
Oh, that would be good.
That'd be based. Co-conspirators.
While Donald Trump and his co-conspirator, Greg Abbott, erode our democracy and drag us toward authoritarianism.
Reading's hard. If she could read, she'd be very upset right now.
If those kids could read, they'd be very upset.
Erode our democracy and drag us toward authoritarianism.
Stupid idiot.
So rough for her. Why does it run in the Democratic Party?
I don't know. Do you think she got maybe she got bit by some other bug? She's just having a tough time.
It's the only thing that runs in the Democratic Party is run-on sentences.
Yep. Now, what Texas and Republican states are doing at the direction of Donald Trump, I say is nothing short of a legal insurrection against our capital.
Oh my gosh.
Legal meaning they're using the legal process.
Oh, so they're doing everything by the book? Is that what you're telling me?
What?
What?
Impossible.
I can't believe Donald Trump doing something legally? What?
No.
We know that he doesn't do anything legally.
Obviously.
We know that.
Does not mean it's legal, and it must be stopped.
Wait. Because he's doing it legally does not mean it's legal? Hold on. Rewind the tape.
Against our capital. Legal meaning they're using the legal process. Does not mean it's legal. And
Can you fact check that for me? If you're using a legal process, that doesn't mean it's legal.
Ma'am, I don't think that word means what you think it means.
Ma'am, this is a Wendy's.
must be stopped.
We must stop him.
If Republicans are willing to rewrite these rules to give themselves an advantage, then they're leaving us no choice. We must do the same.
Oh! I thought it was legally illegal. And so Donald Trump is doing something illegal without breaking any laws, and it is evil what he's doing.
The worst.
And it's because it's so legal, that's what makes it evil and illegal. And because he's doing that, New York's going to do the same thing.
Math ain't mathin'.
The math ain't mathin', dude.
There's a phrase, you have to fight fire with fire.
Oh.
That is a true statement of how we're feeling right now.
Oh.
And as I've said, another overused but applicable phrase, all's fair in love and war.
I don't, yeah, okay. She God, she's
I think
got
she's
like,
pulling
like a
quotes.
sheet of one-liners.
Oh, this one will be good.
She went. You know what she went on to say? She went on to say, in the words of the great Wayne Gretzky, "You miss all the shots you don't take." What an idiot!
Jeez.
I don't understand this woman. How did she become governor? Just you get what you vote for. Get what you vote for. She also declared war. I don't know if you saw that. She declared war on these legal insurrectionists.
Who don't care, will not invest their heart and soul into this battle. This is a war.
Oh.
We are at war.
Oh, no.
And that's why the gloves are off, and I say, bring it on.
She's tough. She's a tough leader.
She's really looking for those quotable moments.
Stunning and brave is what really comes to mind when I think of Kathy Hochul. Hochul? I'm not going to give her the time of day to figure out which one it is. To be perfectly honest with you.
I called her both yesterday.
Ken Weaver, ladies and gentlemen. Hakeem Jeffries says Republicans are trying to rig elections with a rigged congressional map, and Democrats are doing it to ensure a fair congressional map. Again, the math.
Texas Republicans, in your words, at the urging of President Donald Trump, were trying to rig elections by allowing politicians to choose their own voters through this redistricting proposal. What do you say to the argument that Democrats would be guilty of the same charge if they gerrymandered in so-called blue states, Democratic-led states?
What Democrats would be doing in response is to make sure that there is one fair national map.
Okay, got it. When you guys do it, it's good. When we do it, it's evil. Got it. It reminds me of so many other things. When they were going after Donald Trump with lawfare, they said no one is above the law. But when Donald Trump says no one is above the law, and he has his DOJ pursue investigations and grand juries and all the things, it's evil. And he's going after his political enemies. You understand, right? When they do it, it's good. When we do it, it's bad. Just in case you run into that in your everyday life, again, Democrats are allowed to because they're righteous and just. Republicans are not allowed to because they're evil and racist. I feel like we cleared it. I feel like we solved a lot of problems.
How about new?
All right, let's keep going. Why are they really worried about this? I think that's one of the real questions, and it leads me back to one, Jasmine Crockett. And Jasmine, she said the quiet part out loud on MSNBC yesterday. What she said was, after Texas instituted an ID mandate for mail-in ballots, well, they lost a lot of voters. That's weird. Is this really what they're upset about? Is this really what they're stressing about? I think it might be.
There was a benefit to shining a light on what it was that they were trying to do in the dark in Texas. So unfortunately, we've seen our numbers fall now that they have these voter restrictions in place. But I do think it's important for us to have the conversation.
The voter restriction she's talking about is, showing your ID to vote.
Yeah, I was going to say, I love how they call it restriction.
It's a restriction. Do you understand? Black people don't know how to get IDs. This is what the Democrats have been telling me for years and years and years. It's so dumb.
You got to understand, my 130-year-old uncle that lives close to a cemetery is a little camera shy. Can't get an ID.
Just give him a mail-in ballot and stop asking questions,
Leave him
bigots.
alone.
What are you doing? What are you doing? Meanwhile, as all this is going on, only 23% of Democrats even view their party favorably. Like this is all a TV show for their base to create the illusion that they're fighting the good fight and they're standing up to the orange man. But I don't even think their voters buy it. AP and NORC just did a poll, and it says just 23% of Democrats view their party positively. A significant portion of Democrats have been dissatisfied with their political party, according to a new Associated Press poll. The recent poll highlights growing dissatisfaction among Democrats with their own party following a major electoral defeat last November, which saw Donald Trump return to the presidency When Republicans take control of the White House, Senate, and the House of Representatives, the Democratic Party has since faced internal division over its direction, ideological divisions, as well as leadership. The Democrats have a huge issue, and one of their big issues in the lead up to 2024 was their entire platform was Trump is bad. They had no ideas, no initiatives, nothing that they could say, this is how we're going to make your life better. All they said is vote for us so we don't get Trump. And they're doing the exact same thing in the lead up to the midterms. And I fear, well, I don't even fear. I hope they do. I think that they're going to do the exact same thing in the lead up to 2028. Whoever's in the seat, it's going to be J.D. Vance probably. They're going to say we can't allow another 4 years of the policies of Donald Trump to take hold of this country. It's like, good luck with that. The messaging ain't hitting. It's not hitting for your base. It's not hitting for Americans in general. And all of us look at you guys and we just think you're stupid. We do. We think you're stupid. It's 10:52. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Got a crash blocking the off-ramp left lane, 40 South Loop eastbound to go westbound on 24. And the quadruple murder suspect, Austin Drummond, has been captured. These stories and more coming up at 11 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Ken Weaver in the newsroom, and I don't know if you know this, but he braided his beard today. You have to see it on Super Talk TV, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Rumble. It's like little beads in it. It looks good, Ken.
Give it a shake, Ken. Give it a shake.
All right, man.
There it goes.
Hey, folks, better log in. They better subscribe.
You ever see, like, this is some years ago, like 10, 15 years ago, when the girls would go to, like, the islands, they'd come back with their hair all braided?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what Ken's beard looks like today, and you can only see it on Super Talk TV. It looks good. It looks good. I wasn't sure when everybody was talking about your new do. I wasn't sure it was going to look good. But I was proved wrong. Quick.
You rock it well.
I'm going to have to change the video in the intro.
I'm almost a good-looking fella.
You're pretty close. You're pretty close. He's like a 9.5 out of 10, this guy.
As far as bearded beards go. Or beaded beards.
It's a beaded beard, baby. If you want to see Ken Weaver's beaded beard, it's on Super Talk TV. So, on the way, I got some updates on immigration. And we're going to go back to Illinois, the most gerrymandered state. There's a Democrat out there pledging allegiance to another country before America.
What?
Now, we've seen this happen before, albeit not so out in the open, looking at you, Ilhan Omar. But this individual, she came right out and said it. I'll bring you the audio when we get back. Spoiler alert, it is in Spanish, but we got it for you right here on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Eleven o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Full forecast in 5 minutes. Quadruple murder suspect Austin Drummond has been captured. Police in Jackson announcing they took Drummond into custody around 9:15 this morning after issuing a shelter in place in 2 neighborhoods. He'd been wanted for the killings of a family of a baby that was found on the front lawn of a home 40 miles away last week. Fox News reporter Steve Harrigan says Drummond was no stranger to police.
He has a very violent history. Just 28 years old. He's already spent more than a decade in jail. He threatened to kill the jurors in his trial. And yet somehow he was out on bond during the time of these murders. One district attorney who spoke to us from Tennessee said this is a person who is simply not capable of living in society.
Drummond facing 4 counts of first-degree murder, 1 count of aggravated kidnapping and weapons offenses. A new 300-page report from the U.S. Coast Guard sheds more light on the Titan submersible accident in 2023, in which a group of people died as their vessel was heading to the undersea wreck of the Titanic. ABC's Sam Sweeney says the organizer of the trip, a company called Ocean Gate, came under fire for mishandling the vessel's construction and lack of preparation for the trip.
It was left in the cold, the Canadian winter, before this incident. It wasn't properly sealed and wrapped to protect it. The people who rode on it on the ride down to the Titanic before the implosion, they said they heard a loud bang. And Stockton Rush, wrote that off, saying it was just the carbon fiber hull was, settling itself.
All on board, including Rush, died. The investigation determined they died instantly when the vessel imploded. 6 more states have banned junk food purchases using food stamps. West Virginia, Florida, Colorado, Louisiana, Oklahoma, and Texas joining 6 others in the ban. Across all of these states, the change will impact approximately 8.5 million people. The ban on sugary foods and drinks and snack foods begins in 2026. And a new option for families at the airport as officials take more steps to streamline security. ABC's Rhiannon Alley has more.
The TSA's new Families on the Fly campaign is geared towards groups traveling with kids 12 and under and creates dedicated security lanes for families, discounts on TSA PreCheck, and a dedicated PreCheck security line for military families. The program, which saw a limited launch in July, is now expanding to include major vacation destinations like Orlando, Orange County, California, and Honolulu.
And Nashville, too. BNA participating in the Families on the Fly initiative. That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
It's 11:06 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? My name's Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by our friends at Better Water LLC. Love those guys. If you need a water filter, betterwater.com. You can keep in contact with us a number of different ways. Phone line and text line, same number, 615-737-9986. If you want to turn the end of the show into a full Matt Murphy thing where we turn the monologue into a dialogue, we can. You can also keep up with us on social media. I'm at Chris Hand on Air on Twitter, True Social, Instagram, YouTube, and now TikTok. I feel a little bit slimy doing the TikTok.
You joined. You crossed the line.
I did.
You're over on that
China
app.
I know. I like begrudgingly did it. Begrudgingly.
We're trying to reach everybody, though.
Yeah. I'll let you know when I get banned. I do. I think I'm going to get banned soon.
I think so, too, but it'll be funny.
Like, I wonder, what's the over-under on how quickly I get banned from TikTok?
We talking views? Are we talking followers?
No, just like time. How long do you think it'll take until I get banned? Do they have a strike system? How do they do that?
They have you get reported, and then you get under review.
I think 6 months. I think I have 6 months on TikTok.
I'm going to go over.
You're going to go over? All right. We'll see what happens.
7 months.
All right.
I'm giving you till, what is that, January? February?
Yep. All right. Let's move on. We'll talk about immigration. This is, if I do a reel on this, I'll probably get banned from TikTok. Rep Ramirez, a representative from Illinois. Rep Ramirez found herself at a podium. Catalina Ramirez. Delia Catalina Ramirez. She's a Democrat representative out of Illinois. And she was at a summit in Mexico City this weekend. And while she was at this summit, she said something pretty interesting. Now, I'll be honest with you. I don't speak Spanish. I don't. Use the translator app. Confirmed what it said. Many people have confirmed this. But let's listen to Rep. Delia Catalina Ramirez at a summit in Mexico City this weekend, speaking to an audience in Spanish. Let's just hear it, and then I'll translate it.
Quiero terminar diciendo unas palabras en español porque yo soy guatemalteca con mucho orgullo, primero que soy americana.
All right, everybody claps. So you can only assume it's stunning and brave. That's what happens. It's you say something stunning and brave, everybody claps, Democrats get a win. What the hell did she say? Well, I'll tell you what she said. She said, "I'm a proud Guatemalan before I'm an American." Oh? Well then, ma'am, move to Guatemala. You're violating your oath of the Constitution where you swear allegiance to the United States of America. So you should be removed from office. Representative Delia Ramirez. While J.B. Pritzker is worried about the Texas Democrats and their redistricting plan and how illegal and evil it is, there's a congressional rep in his state who is pledging allegiance to a different country before America. Now, again, I don't think this is the first time this has happened. And I look at Ilhan Omar. You know, she's in Congress for Somali values, and she said that. She said that before, but she's never come outright and said, "I'm a Somalian first before I'm an American." This is a wild statement to make. I'm a proud Guatemalan before I'm an American. So if it comes down to it, who are you looking out for? Well, I mean, according to her, she's looking out for Guatemala. I think that she should be removed from office. I think this is an egregious thing to say. And I think don't let the door hit you on the way out. We'll see what happens, and we'll keep you updated on it. But she literally said, "I'm a proud Guatemalan before I'm an American." Holy cow. That's insane to you, right? Like I find that insane as well. I find that insane. Meanwhile, we're getting some updates on some stories that have been happening. We talked about this a little while ago. There's a sex trafficking ring in Alabama. And this sex trafficking ring, I mean, it's horrific what happened. 2 lawmakers in Alabama want the death penalty. This is a child rape case. Authorities arrested several people for allegedly abusing children in an underground bunker. The case out of Bibb County saw 7 taken into custody regarding charges that include rape, sexual torture, human trafficking. The suspects in the case were identified: 21-year-old William Chase McElroy, 21-year-old Dalton Terrell, Timothy St. John, Ricky Terrell, Andres Trejo Velasquez. Remember that name. Rebecca Brewer, and 41-year-old Sarah Lewis Terrell. The outlet said, and at least one of the 7 has been connected to a Mexican gang that uses sex trafficking as a main source of its income. That's interesting. Now, we're getting more developments on this. The Department of Homeland Security has confirmed that suspect involved in the horrifying case in Bibb County, the Alabama sex trafficking case, is a member of the notorious Sureños gang and has been charged with a slew of child sex crimes, along with the 6 other suspects. Andres Trejo Velasquez, 29, has been charged with 5 counts of rape, 7 counts of sodomy, 6 counts of human trafficking, and 4 counts of kidnapping per DHS. Homeland Security investigations helped local authorities arrest one of the suspects uncovered in the horrifying Alabama child sex trafficking ring, Sureños gang member Andres Trejo Velasquez. The DHS government account posted online confirming his membership in the gang, which makes much of its money from human trafficking. I think that you could make the argument that this was a Sureños operation, that the sex trafficking is happening in this country, and that in this particular case, it was being done by illegal aliens. Insane. And the Democrats will scream from the mountaintops that we have to protect these people. They do. They kick and they scream and they yell, "We have to protect them. We have to protect them." And while in this case, some of them are Americans, you have to understand that if the Sureños gang wasn't running this operation, maybe the operation never takes place. And just because some of the suspects are Americans doesn't mean that we shouldn't highlight the illegal alien gang member who is most likely coordinating this whole thing. It's insane. It's an insane story. Heart breaks for those kids. It really does. These children shouldn't have to go through this, but they do, because we're dealing with the leftovers from Joe Biden's America. And we see the leftovers all the time, man. I mean, every single day, I find story after story after story that is nothing short of horrifying when it comes to the crimes done by illegal aliens. There was a story just the other day where you got all these pedophiles being pinched in, where was it? It was in Florida. They nabbed 40 pedophiles. 7 of them were illegal aliens. And you might say, that's not the big number. It's like, okay, 7 more than should have been in this country. The rest of them, wood chipper feet first. Wood chipper feet first. But Florida arrested over 40 pedophiles in an undercover operation. 7 had ICE holds. Florida's arrested over 40 pedophiles, 7 of whom are Immigration and Customs Enforcement ICE holds. This is according to Breitbart. As part of an undercover operation, State Attorney General James Eutheimer's office confirmed 48 individuals arrested, described as a 6-day undercover operation targeting online child predators. I do love that they're ramping up enforcement on this, just for the record. It does seem like they're ramping up this everywhere. Press release notes that this marks the highest number of arrests ever made during this annual joint effort to protect Florida children from exploitation and abuse. And they went on to say, I know the state attorney here is going to be doing the Lord's work to make sure that these people go away for absolutely as long as possible. And then those that shouldn't have ever been in this country, they'll go back to where they came from after they've served their time. I do believe that we need to expand on the death penalty, and individuals like this, these monsters, should be subjected to the death penalty, and publicly. I think that would be a strong deterrent. I really do. This is the Florida Attorney General announcing these charges and what they did with this case.
If it comes to saving lives and protecting our cities and our counties, I will have a conversation with absolutely anybody, anywhere. I mean, look, you got 7 individuals here, people that are going to have ICE detainers if they don't already. Would the mayor just assume we're not going to hand these guys over to ICE? These disgusting, disgusting predators? We don't have the ability to hand these guys over. What would the mayor say to that? These are people that preyed upon kids, brought cocaine, brought condoms, wanted to do heinous things to kids. And we're just going to say, oh, we don't have the ability to help? No, that is wrong. That is wrong, and I reject it.
Amen. And God bless Florida for turning over these monsters, these vile, vile creatures to ICE. But we have many states in the union that don't think that they need to do that at all. It's insane. I mean, Massachusetts, during the Biden years, how many pedophiles did they let out of Massachusetts jails that should have been on ICE detainers? There was too many to count. It was downright insane. Yeah, I wouldn't let them spend a second in an American prison. I would send them to CCOT. Hey, Mr. Bukele, Naib, we got 7 more headed your way. That's how I think they should be handled. And I think that's probably not as harsh as I would handle it, actually. I think it should be far harsher. The Attorney General went on to say on X, as a father, I'm outraged by the heinous crimes we spoke about today. As Attorney General, I'm proud of the brave officers behind this record-breaking operation. These predators, arrested by the Marion County Sheriff's Office, thought they were meeting children. Instead, they were met with handcuffs. In Florida, we protect our kids and hold predators accountable. God bless them, man. So, the police officers that do this kind of work, dude, different kind of hero. I mean, what they have to subject themselves to online, a lot of these guys get PTSD from it. They got to go to counseling after seeing the things that they see. And it's just gross, man. If you got kids out there, you got to be careful. They say that these predators used various online chat and gaming platforms, including Snapchat, in an attempt to message and meet with minors, which were actually undercover officers. The Attorney General's office is suing Snapchat for knowingly and willingly violating Florida law, including protections enshrined in last year's HB 3 and Florida Deceptive and Unfair Trade Practices Act. The lawsuit filed in April states that rather than obeying Florida law, Snapchat is actively deceiving parents about the risks associated with the platform. Overall, there were 153 charges as a result of this operation, including 34 for traveling to meet a minor for illegal sexual conduct, 5 for human trafficking, 48 for using a computer to solicit a child for sexual conduct, and 14 for transmitting materials harmful to a minor. This story's gross, and I just shout out to Florida and the cops for getting it done. But 7 illegal aliens swept up in that raid. Elsewhere, 3 Venezuelan illegal aliens were arrested for murder. Yep, and they came in during, you guessed it, Joe Biden. These 3 Venezuelan illegal immigrants entered the U.S. under Biden, charged with murder in a fatal Texas motel shooting. This story from the Post Millennial. 3 men are facing capital murder charges in connection with a deadly June shooting at a Motel 6 in Garland, Texas. The suspects, all of whom are being held on immigration detainers, are from Venezuela, allegedly participated in a series of robberies targeting sex workers, culminating in the killing of a 48-year-old man from Las Vegas. The 3 men all entered the United States under the Biden administration. Garland police confirmed the victim, Santiago Lopez Morales, died after being shot in the motel at the 12700 block of LBJ Freeway, reports Fox 4. Officers responded around 5 a.m. on June 20th. Reports of gunfire found him suffering from a gunshot wound. He later died at the hospital. Investigators connected the fatal shooting to an earlier aggravated robbery at the Deluxe Inn on Leon Road about 3 hours prior, where 2 Hispanic males forced their way into a woman's room, held her at gunpoint, stole cash, jewelry, and her ID after forcing her to undress and assaulting her. Surveillance footage confirmed the same vehicles were used in both incidents, a Toyota sedan and a gray Acura. According to police affidavits, witnesses involved in the earlier robbery informed Morales about the incident. Morales then reportedly began communicating with the suspects while posing as a prostitute and arranged to meet them at Motel 6. Surveillance video captured much of the interaction that followed. It was about 5:13 a.m. Morales, dressed in security gear, exited a pickup truck and confronted one of the suspects at the motel while pointing a firearm. Struggle ensued. Other suspects joined. Video shows another man emerging from the Acura and shooting Morales at close range. These illegal aliens in this country are monsters, and we owe a great amount of gratitude for our men and women in ICE going to get these monsters off the street. I will tell you this, there's going to be a lot more ICE agents going after these kinds of animals. They have had, we talked about this last week, $50,000, up to a $50,000 sign-on bonus. It's led to a swell in applicants for ICE agents, which is an amazing result of that sign-on bonus. Todd Lyons, the acting ICE director, was talking about the applications that they've received so far.
It's going great, Martha. We have almost 78,000 applicants since we opened up, and we're going through. We're finding those people that really want to serve the country and really be in law enforcement. I think it's a great way to recruit now. We're taking back our rehired annuitants, people that left the job early because they weren't allowed to do their law enforcement mission. But we have so many people that are interested now in working with ICE because now they're seeing, under Secretary Znome leadership, we have a viable law enforcement partner in the community. You are actually out there making a difference. So we're really ecstatic about seeing the increase in new recruits that are applying.
Yeah, I'm ecstatic too, because that means we get more of these illegal alien monsters off the street. We need as many ICE agents as humanly possible. And these hirings are coming as a direct result of that big, beautiful bill. It's 11:21. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here from my friend Shane Ring over at Cover Nash. And if you're paying too much for health insurance and you're staring at a date on the calendar for open enrollment, so that way you can switch and start saving some money, you know you don't have to wait for open enrollment, right? That's just what the big guys want you to believe. With Cover Nash, you can get covered right now. You can switch right now. No waiting, no gimmicks. If you missed your open enrollment, they got you covered. If you lost job coverage, they got you covered. If you're sick of overpriced junk insurance, Shane Ring has you covered. Cover Nash is going to partner with over 75 top-rated insurance companies, including brand new nationwide PPO options with deductibles as low as $250, flat $50 doctor visits, even for specialists, ACA-compliant plans with free preventive care like physicals, colonoscopies, the works, plans for individuals, families, self-employed, even small business. It's time to stop overpaying. It's time to stop waiting. And it's time to stop thinking you're stuck. Go to covernash.com or pick up the phone and call 615-465-0023. That's covernash.com or 615-465-0023. Get health insurance on your terms, not the government's, with Cover Nash.
Hear from the person who made the call leading to the arrest of a quadruple murder suspect this morning. This story and more at 11:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Ken Weaver in the newsroom. My name's Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. You can listen to us anywhere, the FM dial, the iHeartRadio app, the TuneIn app, the 99.7 WTN app. You can watch us anywhere, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Rumble, and you can keep up with me off air. My show ends at 12, but I'm always tweeting. I'm always talking crap, and I'm always posting content at Chris Hand on Air. That's on Twitter, True Social, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. I don't know how long I'm going to last on TikTok. I don't.
Again, 7 months.
I'm going to, but here's the thing. It's really on me.
True. You
know what I mean? Like, I could say something outlandish today and win the bet. Did we make a bet?
Not officially, because now that you're throwing elbows verbally, I don't know if I should.
All right. So President Trump's had a busy day. He had the CNBC interview with First Squawk, which is like, what a dumb name for a show.
Not a fan.
And he had to set those knuckleheads straight. And then after the interview, he answered some questions from reporters. And he did so from the roof of the White House. Yes. 4547, the President of the United States was on the roof of the White House answering questions to the press.
There's no Trump like construction Trump, Jillian, and he is up on the roof. Building surveyor Trump is the best Trump, I always say, and there he is in his element.
Yeah, he's in his element, and listen, he loves construction. And he loves taking questions from reporters. It was a match made in heaven. The reporters are down in the Rose Garden, and they start yelling at him, "What are you doing up there?"
Mr. President, what are you doing up there?
He said, taking a little look.
Gotta admire those flagpoles he put up.
He said, what are you doing up there? And if you're watching on the stream, he does like the funnel over his hand to like the megaphone it. And taking a little look.
So good.
Mr. President, what are you doing up there?
Taking a little look.
Come down and talk to us.
Maybe.
What are you building?
He said, we're looking at the ballroom, which is going to be on the other side.
I love how when they say, come down and talk to us, he just throws his hands out to the side and is like, maybe.
No, I'm right here. The president was on the roof of the White House. Fox Business said that he was inspecting his improvement projects while he was up there, which is just, it's so Trump. This is so Trump. I don't know anybody else that can do the things that he does. He spends his morning yelling at CNBC, and then he's like, all right, let's go to the roof.
Yep. Anything I do is financed by me, so you're not the word contributed. Just like my salary is contributed, and nobody ever mentions that.
Yep. Everything's financed by me. It's contributed by me, just like my salary.
Yep.
Nobody ever mentions that. Nobody does mention that. He doesn't take $1 to be president. He does it because it's fun. That's what he does. Donald Trump up on the roof.
Wants a better future for us all.
Yeah. From up here, I see everything so clearly. I come here to think from time to time. It's so good. So good in so many ways. All right, hey, on the way, we got the lightning round. You ready for that? You ready for the lightning round, Mason?
I don't know.
I mean, you're really slow to the lightning, so I'm beginning to doubt it.
I hear it.
We got some good stories in the lightning round on the way, okay?
I'm nervous.
I'm going to tell you about the biggest Airbnb scam that you've ever heard of.
What?
Yeah. Dude, it's crazy, and it's coming up next in the lightning round right here on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
.30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast in 5 minutes, and the suspect in the murder of a Tennessee family of a baby found abandoned in someone's yard 40 miles away from the murder scene last week is in custody. Channel 4 says this man in Jackson called police after seeing someone matching the description of Austin Drummond.
We saw the guy walking in the middle of the wood.
Thank you.
And we thought, nobody wants to walk in the middle of the wood in the middle of this stuff. So we was kind of very sure it was the guy. So I called the police immediately when the guy was walking right there and kind of give them, the location and everything. And they be hearing about, actually I was on the phone when they got here.
Drummond faces 4 first-degree murder charges. Authorities preparing to update the media. We'll have highlights throughout the day. Right now in Nashville, the state carrying out the lethal injection execution of Byron Black, convicted of murdering his girlfriend Angela Clay and her daughters in the 80s. Crowds gathered this morning with protesters on both sides of the issue. Family members of one of the victims says this day has been a long time coming.
We've been waiting for years and years and years. This day was coming and this day has come.
She says instead of all the appeals, she wishes there was more effort in solving other crimes rather than stopping justice from being carried out. And today is the first day back to school for Metro students. And this year, there are more school resource officers than ever before, but not for every school. Here's Channel 4's Joylyn Bukovac.
Metro police say some larger schools like McGavick and Antioch High have 3 officers each. But right now, only 9 elementary schools have a full-time SRO. And to help cover the rest, the department is using overtime pay to bring in off-duty officers as patrol support. The police chief says that they are still working to fill the gap.
That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Weather can change in an instant.
Hey, Mason, did you see that super texter asking questions about you?
What'd they say?
I answered him.
Oh, no.
what the question was and what my answer was when we get back. Real quick, though, I got to tell you about my friends over at Better Water LLC. If you're tired of weird smells, stains, or just plain old bad tasting water at your house or at the office, you got to talk to these guys. Think of it like a giant Brita filter for your whole house, under your sink, or even for your whole business, and they'll handle everything. You can have some nasty stuff in your water. Iron, chlorine, bacteria, even E. coli, sulfur. Man, if you're bathing in this water, if you're drinking this water, you gotta switch it up. Now, Better Water will test your water for free, and if the nasty stuff is in there, they got a host of options for you. Reverse osmosis, water softeners, specialized filters, UV lights, you name it. Better Water has you covered, and these guys are local, based out of Smyrna. They already treat the water at your local coffee shops and at the hospitals around town, so they know what they're doing. Stop drinking the junk out of your tap. Give Better Water a call today. 615-355-6063. That's 615-355-6063. Or check them out online, betterwater.com. $11:36, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? It's Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. We love those guys. BetterWater.com for your water filter. So 0227 had a question about Mason. Mason, you want to read what the question was?
Oh, I read the question.
No, but read it for the audience.
I don't know if I can get through it, man.
You can do it. Read the question for me. Just read the original question.
The original question from 0227. Is Mason high all the time?
Inquiring minds want to know.
Chris's response, hold on, let me count those zeros real quick. That's 100,000. Did you put 100 million %?
I did put 100 million %.
To be fair.
I did put 100 million %.
To be fair, it's not grass. We only got Sharpies in the studio.
Mason is, he's having a tough time.
Sometimes you just need to take the edge off.
Anytime somebody asks me a question like that, what am I supposed to say? I'm not going to say no. I'm not gonna,
you don't know.
I'm not going to stick up for you.
No, yeah, beat me down.
I'm going to say, yeah, absolutely. $1,000,000%, actually. 100 million %.
100 million. I had to count the zeros to make sure I had that right.
100 million %. Mason's high all the time.
Oh, yeah.
So when he's a little late on the lightning today, just know he's battling demons. Speaking of which, it's time for the lightning round.
It's the lightning round with Chris Hand.
Oh, we do it every day at this time, man. I love the lightning round. Oh, quick on the trigger. I'm a big fan. So we do
focus now.
We do all the stories that wouldn't fill a whole segment, that we didn't have time to cover, or that nobody's talking about. Plus, we give you an opportunity for any last-minute hot takes, cold takes, or opinions on anything we've talked about or didn't talk about. 615-737-9986. Without further ado, this is the lightning round. All right, I have no idea where to start. I have so many good stories today.
I don't know if I should be scared or just anticipatory.
I think I'll let you choose.
All right.
International or domestic?
Let's do domestic.
All right, we'll do domestic. This is the biggest Airbnb scam I've ever heard of, and it's our first story in the lightning round. Oh, I lied. This one's international too.
Chris.
Oh,
keep
no,
it in
no, it's
order.
not. No, it's not. No, it's not. The guy was British,
Ah.
but the apartment was in New York. Okay. A London-based academic has received an apology and a $5,700 refund from Airbnb.
Oh.
So here's the story. He rents an Airbnb in New York, okay? Then the host of the Airbnb claimed that this London-based academic caused over $15,000 in damages. And she made the claim to Airbnb that these damages were done using AI-generated images as evidence of the supposed damage. Ooh, that's spicy. Isn't that spicy? Like, it makes you almost want to do a video walkthrough before you leave your Airbnb, so that way you have it for a reference. So she used AI-generated images as evidence of the supposed damage. The company initially tried to, Airbnb, the company, initially tried to charge the renter $7,000 for the damages and refused her appeal until a newspaper investigation caused them to change their tune. This is insane. So The Guardian got involved and reports that Airbnb, the popular short-term rental platform, has found itself at the center of a troubling case involving a host who allegedly submitted AI-generated photos to support a false claim of extensive property damage. The incident raised concerns about the ease with which AI-generated images can be used to make these kinds of claims. The victim in this case, London-based academic, booked a one-bedroom apartment in Manhattan for a 2.5-month stay. Decided to leave the rental early due to safety concerns about the neighborhood. New York, am I right? Shortly after... What?
Sorry. They'll house anybody these days.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, I could have told you that.
Fair enough.
Shortly after her departure, the host claimed that she had caused $16,000 worth of damage, and she submitted these photos of the damage. And the photos showed pictures of a cracked coffee table. If you're watching us on the stream, you can see it. And they also said that there was a stained mattress, damaged robot vacuum cleaner, a sofa, a microwave, and a TV and an air conditioner, all ruined. The woman obviously denied causing any of the damage and maintained that she had left the apartment in good condition. And upon close examination of the photos provided by the host, she noticed some discrepancies, that the images had been digitally manipulated or generated using AI technology. She believed the host was retaliating against her for ending the tenancy prematurely. Initially, Airbnb sided with the host, informing the woman that after a careful review of the photos, she would be required to pay about $7,000 in damage.
Wow.
The woman appealed the decision, offering to provide testimony from an eyewitness who could attest to the condition of the property at the time of checkout. She also pointed out the visual inconsistencies in the photos of the alleged damaged coffee table, arguing that they were clear signs of fabrication. Now, despite the woman's explanation and evidence, Airbnb failed to identify the apparent manipulation and ignored her concerns up until The Guardian, a London-based newspaper, got involved, raising questions about the case that Airbnb reversed its decision. The company ultimately refunded the woman the full cost of her booking, totaling $5,700, and removed a negative review the host had left on her profile.
Wow.
So if you're going to rent an Airbnb, just take a video on your way out, because they don't give a damn. They're not going to do their due diligence on any of this kind of stuff. But it's
especially
insane.
because your video will be timestamped properly.
Yeah. 100%. Do it right at checkout.
Yeah, but even then, like, what's to say that, like, oh, you didn't use AI to fix the crack in the wall that you put there? Like, I don't
That's
know.
another thing you could do. If you're going to damage a property, use AI to clean it up.
Fix it up.
and create a video saying that you didn't do anything wrong.
This happened after me. I left. What are you talking about?
All right, got another story for you in the lightning round. This one's international. A Denmark zoo is pleading for donations. Pleading. And I want this audience always steps up when people ask for help. Like 100%. Like we've seen it so many times. Like when there are people in need, this audience steps up. And I'm asking you guys once again to find it in your hearts to help somebody, okay? And this Denmark zoo is pleading for your donations. They're asking you to donate family pets to feed captive predators. I know this audience is going to step up. This audience always steps up. If you got a cat, a rabbit, a hamster, guinea pig, even a horse that is no longer of use to you, a zoo in Denmark would like to hear from you. It's pleading for the donation of unwanted family pets that can be killed and served to help feed captive predators.
Wow.
Isn't that insane?
Wow.
That's nuts.
Please send us your cats. AP reports that the Aalborg Zoo, I know it's not pronounced that way because it's Denmark. It's probably like,
who knows?
The zoo maintains it is trying to mimic the natural food chain of animal inmates. Because nothing says more natural than feeding a guinea pig to a tiger.
Wow.
And they're saying they're doing this for the sake of both animal welfare and professional integrity. They offer assurances that the donated pets will be gently euthanized by trained staff. The online call for pet donations is accompanied by a picture. I can't make this up. I'm putting it on the stream. I'm putting it on the stream because otherwise you're going to think I'm lying. The online call for pet donations is accompanied by a picture of a wildcat baring its teeth with a wide open mouth and a link to the zoo's website. It's a hungry cat. It's a hungry cat.
So they're going to euthanize the unwanted pets, then feed them to the animals?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're going to kill them?
I was just picturing them throwing a cat over the fence.
Best of luck. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
Wow.
An underhanded toss of a guinea pig to a tiger.
Yeah. Or a snake.
Just catching him midair.
Makes it feel like they're back in the wild again.
Yeah.
Catching live prey.
Guinea pig incoming.
Wow.
You think they'd swallow that in one bite, right?
Oh,
easily.
yes.
100%.
Easily.
The report goes on to state that the zoo in northern Denmark explained in the Facebook post, if you have a healthy animal that needs to be given away for various reasons, feel free to donate it to us.
Oh, when you put it that way.
Oh, got it. The zoo is really looking for guinea pigs, rabbits, chickens as possible donations, but they're open to anything. Dogs, horses, pigs. The AP report further notes the facility is also interested in receiving horses.
Horses?
Horses.
I can definitely see the pigs because there's a lot of people out there who go out there and they buy, quote unquote, these teacup pigs.
Yeah.
That turn out, there's no such thing as a teacup pig.
No.
They like get to like 300 pounds.
And then what are you supposed to do with that? Donate it to a zoo in Denmark is what you do with that.
Wow.
The zoo said it's accepting donated rabbits, guinea pigs, chickens on weekdays between 10 a.m. and 1 p.m. But please, no more than 4 at a time. So,
wow.
We got limits here. We got standards.
There's some regulations. Maximum of 4 pets to be donated by one individual.
I'd make that deal.
You would make that deal?
You make that deal?
Sounds like a good deal.
I'll make that deal. How about you bitch? You make that deal? I'd make that deal. I don't blame you. Damn good deal.
I wish we had zoos doing this in America. I do. Everybody's got that one barking dog in the neighborhood. I go back to the Seinfeld episode where they pick up the dog and he gets stuck with the dog for a few weeks. Imagine if he could have donated that to the zoo in Central Park.
Yeah. Hopefully they make sure that the pets that arrive with the actual owners.
It's not an angry neighbor.
Right.
Yep.
My neighbor's dog down the road bit me.
Sir, what's your dog's name? Spot.
It says Clifford on the collar. What do you mean his name is Spot?
Borrowed that from a friend.
Yeah. It's a loner.
So, Denmark Zoo. I love this story. I love it on so many different levels. So many levels.
Stepping up their game.
And also, like, it's a good use of resources. You know what I mean? It's a good use of resources.
What if they let the animals in and they survive? Are they allowed to adapt to the environment and just live in the zoo?
I don't think they're going to survive. They got a trained staff that's going to euthanize those animals as soon as they get in.
I'm saying if we bypass that part.
I don't think they're bypassing the euthanization. I think that's part of that's baked in the cake.
But the
cake is made of guinea pigs.
I don't think. Not a fan of that.
Not a fan?
Not a fan of guinea pig cake.
No. The Tigers love it.
Big fans.
Huge fans. Huge fans. All right, so I found a zoo I want to visit.
Oh, no.
I definitely want to go there.
Is it in the States?
No. I want to go to this Denmark zoo.
Okay, cool. I didn't know if you were thinking of another one.
No, I got my passport. Go there just for the weekend.
Check
the zoo out.
Based on that one super texter's question about Mason, you might go along. I understand pot's legal there.
Let's go. Let's go, Mason.
I got some time off coming up. Want to go to Denmark?
100 million %. Mason's in for that trip. I can tell you that right now. 100 million %. All right, got another story for you in the lightning round. Enough about donated animals. I got a text from 5413 said, not funny. You're right. Oh, geez.
Not funny. It's hilarious.
No, but I found. So it says not funny, ... And then I clicked on the text and said, not funny. Send illegals. That's terrible. That's terrible. We'll send them to CCOT.
Yeah.
All right, another story in the lightning round. Oh my gosh, the texts are coming in so fast. I can't get to this next story because I'm reading texts. What's the dog's name? Snack. 5338 said, too bad that option wasn't available to Christy Nome.
Oh.
7127. Do they accept aging family members? I don't know. I don't think so.
Probably not. Probably not.
4460 said, Joan can send her a raccoon.
Oh, that's true.
All right, I'm moving on. Got another story for you in the lightning round. I know you don't watch MSNBC, so I had to bring this to your attention. Yesterday during the broadcast, you know comedian Alex Stein, Primetime 99, Pimp on a Blimp. He's one of the funniest guys in conservative politics. And he found himself on MSNBC yesterday. Well, he didn't get asked for an interview. He decided to bomb their live shot while they were at the Texas State Capitol.
Oh, really?
In Austin, yeah. And it got wild. This is Alex Stein interrupting a live MSNBC broadcast yesterday. Again, this is at the Texas State Capitol. They're doing all the Texas redistricting stuff. So that's what they're all upset about because it's good when Democrats do it. It's evil when Republicans do it. You know the thing. So Alex Stein decided to let everybody know what he thinks about MSNBC while they're in the middle of a live shot.
We just watched the speaker gavel out with a whole lot of anger, Kelly. Here's the state of play.
MSNBC sucks.
Hey, how are you?
MSNBC sucks.
Can I talk to you for a second?
MSNBC sucks.
You can see.
Okay.
You can see the frustration.
Sometimes this happens, and we understand that can happen. And while we love free speech, we're going to keep control here. So
she said, while we love free speech, sure you do. Sure you do, comrades.
Well, sometimes this happens.
We're going to keep control here. So they get everything under control, right? Because that's what they need. They need control. They go back to the live shot once it's under control.
Ryan, thank you. Shaq, thank you. A volatile story. We'll be following it. And apparently, not only Shaq cleaned up. Okay. Stay with us here because Ryan has cleared the set, as we would like to say. The gentleman moved on. So
let's just a point of note. Ryan really screwed up here. Ryan, you're going to find out in a minute. Ryan did not, in fact, clear the set. Ryan, if Ryan was holding the ball, he dropped it. I'll tell you that much. I'll tell you that much right now. So they're going back to the live shot because they have faith in Ryan for some reason. And Ryan,
smoking gun here.
I think Ryan's low-key a conservative. I think that might be the case.
Ryan, let me turn back to you. Nicely handled there. Can you give us an update on, as you were walking us through this, we'll all take a breath there. Maybe not. Okay.
He yelled, "No trannies in the bathroom." Whew.
Go ahead, Ryan. See,
Hold on 1 second.
Yeah. Okay. We're just going to pull the plug there. Thank
Kelly,
you,
this
Ryan.
is all playing out in real time.
It sure
Passion
is.
high.
Passion is high.
There's a whole lot of anger here, as you can see. So we're going to get a control of this and come back to you when we can.
Fair enough, fair enough. And we recognize people are expressing their views, and we're there to cover it. You do that job. We'll move on with our audience.
Yeah, the views that were expressed is that MSNBC sucks. Fact check, true. It's 11:53. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friends at United Structural Systems. You know them as USS. And when it comes to the home repairs that USS can help you with, especially waterproofing, I mean, it's just easy to ignore the warning signs. You're like, it's a little water in the basement. The crawl space is a little wet. Yeah, sure, there's some damp walls. And you're like, the water will dry up and it'll go away. And sure enough, yeah, it does. But these small problems are going to come back as soon as that rain comes back. And these small problems are never going to stay small. That water in your crawl space is going to lead to mold, wood rot, foundation issues. You don't want it to get worse. You need to call USS and have them help you the way they've helped 30,000 other homeowners across Middle Tennessee. These guys are going to show up with experts, not sales guys. They're going to show up with a plan, not worrying about their quotas. Whether it's foundation repair or waterproofing, USS is the company to call. They'll stand behind their work with warranties you can trust, locally owned. These guys have 30 years in the game, and they're here for the long haul. So if you see the signs, don't wait. Call USS today. 615-488-7855. That's 615-488-7855. And you can always find them online, ussTN.com. 11:59, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. Chad Benson's in studio. What do we got coming up on the Chad Benson Experience?
I want to talk more about your car, your Continental.
Oh, I was telling him my favorite car of all time that I had was an 87 Lincoln Continental.
Yeah.
And it was so badass,
Awesome,
dude.
man.
It was so good. I remember, so when I worked at Hip Hop Radio, this is the funniest story. I worked at Hip Hop Radio, and I had to pick up DMC from Run DMC. And I remember saying to my boss, like, the suspension had gone in this thing. Like, I mean, it looked like a lowrider at this point. Like, it was in bad shape. And I said, my boss his name was Pup Dog. I said, Pup. I said, I'm happy to pick up DMC. But I think the last time he was in an 87 Lincoln Continental was probably 86.
Yeah, probably.
And my boss said, yeah, you're right. And he threw me the keys to his Lexus. And I was like, I don't know why you're making this decision, but thanks.
That's a solid decision right there.
I got out of there quick. I didn't question it.
Man, you could have kept that thing, threw some bags on it.
Oh, man, it would have been sick. I regret it. I sold it for like $500 to a scrapper.
Oh, that's
and
the
I was
worst.
like, I'm going to be on my deathbed. And they'd be like, do you have any regrets? And I'd be like, that 87 Lincoln Continental
Man,
that
you'd have
got
been
away.
Fly right now. You'd trade that right now for your Tesla.
I would.
In a heartbeat.
100%.
Absolutely. Smart move
100%.
right there.
Chad Benson's